6 men crawled into a tunnel slightly wider than a computer screen. A wedding was just weeks away. None of them made it out alive, and it took rescuers 3 more days to find where the last one was. Here's the question that still sits at the center of this case. How do 6 experienced cavers with actual warning time still lose the race to water rising behind them? June 24, 1967, Yorkshire, England. Mossdale Caverns, a cave so demanding that for 20 years after its discovery, almost no one attempted it. 10 cavers entered that Saturday afternoon. They split at the entrance. 4, including Dave Adamson's fiancée, Morag, made a shorter trip and came out safely by 5 o'clock. 6 pushed on toward the far end of the system. Dave Adamson led them, the most experienced caver of the group. Jeff Boireau, Bill Frakes, John Ogden, Michael Ryan, Colin Vickers. They reached Far Marathon, 900 feet of tunnel, 10 inches high, 2 feet wide, the kind of space you move through on your stomach, not your feet. Above ground, it had rained, not a storm at first, under an inch in just a few hours that evening. Nearly all of it fell in one 4-hour window after 8 o'clock. It was the kind of rain a caver checks the forecast for and still decides is manageable. It wasn't the rain itself, it was the timing. Water surged into the passage, far faster than 6 men crawling through a 2-foot gap could outrun. On the surface, Morag checked the cave entrance once, then again as the rain worsened. The second time, she found a lake where dry ground had been. She ran nearly 2 miles through the storm, first to one farm, then another, before she finally reached a phone. By 11:15 that night, the rescue was underway. Hundreds of people arrived by dawn: cavers, firefighters, farmers with tractors and diggers. Working through the night, they cut a diversion channel over 100 yards long and built a dam to hold the flood back from the entrance. It bought time on the surface. It didn't change what had already happened underground. By Sunday afternoon, the water had dropped enough for search teams to go in. The first team found a discarded lamp deep in the passage, a sign of how violently the water had moved through. Not far beyond it, they found 5 bodies: Adamson, Boireau, Frakes, Ryan, and Vickers. For hours, rescuers on the surface believed the search was complete. Only 5 names had ever been confirmed missing. Then, someone realized there had been 6 men in that group all along. John Ogden wasn't among the 5. Rain returned overnight and weakened the dam, forcing teams out of the cave entirely on Monday. On Tuesday, search parties combed every side passage they could reach. Still nothing. Early Wednesday morning, a rescuer checking a narrow side crack spotted a boot in the silt, then part of a helmet. Ogden had been forced into the tightest space nearby, barely visible, just 15 feet from the others. Officials weighed what came next. Retrieving 6 bodies from that deep in the cave through passages that could flood again without warning was judged too dangerous to attempt. The entrance was sealed with concrete and boulders. At the inquest that July, the jury returned a verdict of death by misadventure and called the decision to seal the cave a very wise one. 3 years later, a small team of friends quietly returned, moved the 6 to a higher chamber, and gave it a name: the Sanctuary, not because it saved anyone, because it's where 6 men spent their final hours. Here's the part that's easy to miss. None of these 6 men did anything reckless. They checked the forecast. They were experienced. The inquest itself found the rainfall genuinely exceptional for June, not an obvious warning they chose to ignore. They needed a doorway's worth of space and rock that wide in time. They didn't have either. Mossdale Caverns is still there today. Cavers still go in. The stream still rises the way it did in 1967. 6 men crawled into a tunnel slightly wider than a computer screen. A wedding never happened. All 6 died that day, and the cave that took them is still standing exactly where it was, sealed, permanent, and still their grave.